Hi, good morning and welcome down to Devon Koi Pond on not such a nice day. Weekend been too bad, but it's pants today. No sunshine and it's feeling cold as well. Even got the top on, felt chilly down here today. But I'd like to welcome any new subscribers. Thanks for joining the channel. Got lots of stuff going on. The old subscribers are saying keep watching, we've got plenty of action going on. If you're not subscribed yet, pop down, whack the subscription button and you won't miss anything else that's going on. But we do a lot down here. So anyway, last week, the blanket weed. Well, I spent the entire week battling the blanket weed, getting it out the pond. It's been horrendous. Loads of it floating around. I just couldn't believe it was that bad. It's been choking the filters up all week. I've been cleaning the filters every day. The dying stuff has come out. So we'll have the results of the survey. I'll stick them up here, like recommended as best blanket weed treatment, first, second, maybe third. So up here is those. The cloverleaf works, it's killed it off, but it's so blooming messy. I'll give you a look over at a minute and we'll look at the catastrophe as it's cleared up. So yeah, fish all well happy. Water's near back to norm. Exactly 1 week now after the blanket weed treatment. Fish are a bit slower, a bit cold down here this morning. I haven't looked at the temperature, but so a quick look at that a second, see what we're down to. And we're oh, this is the lowest I've seen it, 16.7. 16.8. It's probably going to go down a little bit more today. Air temperature in the filter 22, 23. But it's low. I've not seen it that low down here. We've had a couple of cold nights, but the days have been sunny. Yeah, fish all happy. Just chucked a handful of food in for them. But what we've been doing down here this week is mainly cleaning blanket weed out the damn filter. I've had the answer out the vortex all week and just did this bit of Sajat matting in there, sat on top of it, taking the worst of it going through to the, stopping the worst of it going through to the Easy Pod, and that's worked quite well. I've only had to clean the Easy Pod 3 times through the week. The problem with this one was it gets to a point where it's drawing enough and it blocks up, it pulls these screens in and they hit against the heads here and stop it rotating, so it doesn't clean itself anymore at a certain point. I think maybe later today I'll pop that one back onto its pipe here. That's the pipe it actually sits on top of. If I flip it upside down a second you can actually have a look at it, I suppose. I don't think you've seen it like that. Let me pop the camera down and I'll give you a look at that. So yeah, this is how it's actually set up to work. So I've got that bit of pipe that drops down and then goes back out through the exit on it. And because I'm causing an air trap with this piece of pipe, I had to put a bleeder in, homemade bleeder, just a bit of PVC pipe with, as it happens, an old test tube in the centre of it, siliconed in, with a screw-on cap, and there you go. That sorts an air bleeder out, because I always get an air trap in that pipe. I've been running through with filter floss on the exit pipes this week, doing my very best to get this damn blanket weed out. Blooming stuff has caused me no end of grief this week. I haven't touched much else down here because of that, and like I say, the temperature been down, but the water's come back to good. Still got a little slight tinge to it, but the amount of food is still up, 250-300 grams a day, and all the time they're eating it. I won't cut the food down till it gets down to about 11 or 12 degrees. Once it starts hitting that temperature, I've got the bucket of wheat germ in there ready to go. We'll be switching over to that. Yeah, that is Popeye on the top there. He's looking a lot better. Eyes are down, perfectly normal, which is really good. Don't know what it was with that fish, but they kept coming up every year. but that was the first time I'd seen it through a summer. Rest are all looking well happy, but not looking forward to the winter. See, everybody's on about heaters and stuff like that and the costs of it. Horrendous thing running an electric heater on a pond. Unless you really want to heat, don't do it, because it will cost you an absolute arm and a leg. To be of any use, you really need to be heating to sort of 18 to 20 degrees kind of margin anyway. If you're not going to push it up to those kind of temperatures, then you want to just let it go. With my pond covered here, I know the lowest it probably reach should be somewhere sort of 6 or 7 degrees. I'm not going to get below that through the winter, and I'll be quite happy with that. And the fish will have an overwinter, save me a bit on the food, and they'll be ready and raring to go next spring. But the cover is the important thing. If you're going to heat, the cover on the pond needs to be as tight to the water as you can get it, because any distance above the water, you're also heating that air, so you're just increasing the volume, and if you increase the volume, you've got to heat more. So you heat more, what you end up heating the air above the pond, which is of a bigger volume, and then you're losing more heat through that because it's a bigger volume. So if you're going to heat, cover on the pond, but keep it as tight down to the water as you can. Enough so that you can gas off. You need a gap at one end or so that you can get the air through it, but don't give it a large air gap above it, because you're just heating that air and it gives more to lose your heat. Okie dokie. Right, that's about all it is this week, just really an update. So I'll pop you over in the tripod. Yeah, so as I was saying with heat, if you're going to heat, get the cover down as tight as you can on the pond. You have to cover it if you're heating it, or your heat will just go straight out the top. But the cover wants to be as tight to the water as you can get it. The less of an air gap you got, the less air you're heating. All that air that you're heating above the pond will lose it a lot quicker than the water. It'll come out that air just like that. The insulation around the pond, it all needs to be insulated really well with decent thickness of Celotex. Heat is a funny thing. It will drift out of things so fast, and your heater will be working its guts out to get there, and it's expensive. It comes around every winter. People start thinking about it. Oh my, like when I had the pond down the bottom of the garden, the first year with it I didn't cover. My first year with koi, and I just did a couple of pond heaters, small floating ones in there just to keep warm spots, and that stopped any ice forming on the top around it. It was quite bad that winter, as I seem to remember. So the following winter I put covers over it, and I've always covered my ponds ever since. I don't think I've ever seen a temperature below sort of 5 degrees with it covered. If it's in the ground, you pick up ground heat. It's warmer and in the ground, and that heat will be drawn into your pond if it's uninsulated. So that's always a bonus, and that will keep you going through the winter. But the fish, I always think, need a bit of a winter, need a bit of a rest. It's nature. They've kind of always done it. So there you go. I let them go like that. So this week anyway, for me down here in Devon, I'm going to sort the filter out there, give the vortex a flush out, stick the answer back in and get that going. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, whack in and subscribe. Button's down here. It's the red one, you'll see it, shining red. Hit that one. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. And we'll catch you all next week. So from down here in Devon on this not so sunny day, in fact it's blooming cold down here. Can't be much in the double figures. But we'll catch you all next week. Bye for now.